into week 4 of Walk the Plank, the podcast that will take a dive into the week that was Perry Athletics, and we'll get into previewing the upcoming events for the week and the weekend here as we head into mid-September, and our fall sports season is in full swing at this time. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Gene Winters. Thanks for being here, Gene.
Yeah, a lot of excitement this week. There are a lot of home games. I took in a little soccer on Tuesday, a little tennis. There was a lot going on here at Perry, and just more to come as the fall season continues.
Yeah, we'll have more soccer matches coming up in Alumni Stadium. We've got home volleyball matches coming up next week. Some of our teams are wrapping up their season, which is crazy to say. Golf and tennis. We're going to be talking to some tennis folks here in a little bit about their season and where we're at as they get ready to play in their CVC championships. Our boys played in their CVC championship, boys golf. We'll talk a little bit about that. Girls play tomorrow. But we're going to talk a little soccer right now. Start the show off with Cooper Schlau. He is our male athlete of the week. Welcome, Coop, to the show. Thanks to Dairy Queen. You're going to get a meal deal there plus a Blizzard, so please enjoy that. We appreciate the support that Dairy Queen gives us. I might have a little new sponsor as well coming down the road. I'll tease that for next week. Potentially our athletes might get a couple of different things. We'll see. We're still on the works there, but we do appreciate DQ for supporting our Student Athlete of the Week program. Cooper, you're a member of our men's soccer team here at Perry High School. Midfielder on the team. We'll talk a little bit about the season. Similar to a lot of our teams, you guys play in a really tough division. So we've got Orange and West Geauga and Chagrin Falls in there. We'll dive into that a little bit. But as a midfielder on the team, what are some of your responsibilities for maybe somebody who doesn't know the game of soccer? You've got defender, midfielder, forward, goalkeeper. What's a midfielder do in the game of soccer? What's your job?
Well, I would say a midfielder is the kind of base of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Mostly running, so.
Get you in shape for wrestling too, right?
I guess if you want to be a midfielder, you just gotta get in shape fast. That's for sure.
Okay.
Now, have you always been a midfielder, or have you kind of like graduated into that position, maybe starting as a defender? Where has that evolved into?
Yeah, well, I started my freshman year, so the coach kind of just put me there, and then I just stayed there.
Nice. And what do you like about that? Is it obviously I'm sure it's not the running, but is it the facilitating to your teammates? Is it the possible goal scoring? What part of midfield do you enjoy?
I think my favorite part is kind of just the offensive part. I think offense is more my thing, but I mean obviously I got to play defense too.
Mm-hmm.
But
so distributing the ball, so you're sort of in that. I mean it's called midfielder for a reason, right? You're in that mid section, the forwards in front of you, the defense. The defenders are behind you, so you've got to play a little bit of defense, as you said, but then you've got to feed the ball up the field and score from time to time, and you've got to sort of facilitate that ball. So really, good ball skills, good vision. I think our midfielder, I always vision them like a point guard in the game of basketball, where you're sort of getting the ball up the field to our scorers and taking shots when needed, but how has your game evolved since last year? A second year varsity, or you said freshman year, but how has it gotten better? How have you improved in the sport of soccer?
I think my shooting's gotten a lot better and my footwork. So I think my footwork's helped me tremendously.
And how do you improve on that? Is it like a bunch of ladders? Is it more running? Is it the same thing with shots on goal? Is it just taking more in practice and trying to enhance your craft that way?
Yeah, so we do like shooting drills some practices, and that helps a lot. We do a lot of running during practice, so my footwork kind of just comes naturally when we do all of our scrimmages and stuff. So.
And footwork, obviously a wrestler too, is some of that similar? Is that being a successful wrestler, does that kind of help on the soccer field as well?
Yeah, that's kind of why I joined soccer my freshman year, was just for the conditioning and footwork for wrestling. So
yeah, we have several wrestlers out there on the field. If you watch it out on the turf, they're all. They're out there. But soccer is a physical sport. I think sometimes people think, oh, it's not football. If you watch soccer matches pretty closely, you'll see that there's a lot of physical contact and whether it's an elbow or a hip or a body against you. I mean, it's a pretty physical sport, is it not?
Yes, I agree.
And then how long have you been playing the sport? How long? You said, obviously, the high school team, you came out your freshman year. Had you played before that? Did you do anything in middle school? Or it was just like, hey, we're going to give it a shot and go see, and it'll help me get in shape for wrestling, and that's how it all started? Or was it earlier than that?
Well, I mean, I was kind of thinking about it my 7th grade year,
Yeah.
but then I kind of just decided to stay with football.
Okay.
And then, like, me and my brother would always, like, just play soccer for fun sometimes. And then I was like, I just decided to join.
And obviously, your brother joined us in week 1. So, what is it like playing with him? What is that? That relationship meant, being able to kind of do this together.
It's fun. Sometimes there's some tension between us, but it goes away fast, and then we just kind of join together and play soccer.
Is there more tension on the mat, or is it on the soccer field?
Definitely on the mat.
Yeah.
Are you guys, not to fast forward too much into the wrestling season, are you guys close in weight class? How many weight classes separate you guys?
I think he's gonna go 150, and I'll
Okay.
go 126 or 32.
Okay, so you got a couple of classes in there between
Yeah.
you. So we started this year 2-1. We've lost again. I mentioned some of these schools that are ranked in the top teams in the state in Division III or Division IV in soccer that are on our schedule. I'm headed to a CVC meeting here later this afternoon. We'll see what we can get done for, trying to get maybe a little bit some closer matches. We're traveling to Chagrin Falls and West Geauga. Orange came to us last night. Sort of last year, same thing. We started off a little bit. We started off a little bit rougher. We ended up with some wins toward the end. What do we need to do as a team to sort of get back into that win column, knowing again that we've got some tough competition ahead of us as well?
Personally, I think that, for some of our conference games, we didn't play our best.
Mm-hmm.
We were kind of making stupid mistakes and not passing. And then against Orange, the score didn't show it, but I really think that we played pretty good against Orange. Just some mistakes on defense, but other than that, we passed the ball pretty well.
Yeah, Coach Tanish mentioned last night a little bit of some changes defensively that they were looking to make, and I think initially it helped. And again, Orange is arguably the best team in our league, if not one. Certainly in the top 2 or 3 in the Chagrin Valley Conference. So. Very skilled team, and I think we held our own. I agree, Coop. The score didn't necessarily show that, but we've got chances this week. We're playing Edgewood on Thursday. We travel to Edgewood. That game will be on grass, so we haven't played a lot of games on grass this year. How is the game of soccer different from grass to turf?
I personally don't like grass. It's a lot harder to play on grass. Sometimes you'll lose the ball when you're dribbling or passing the ball. You have to pass a lot harder on grass.
Sure. You never know. It could be 4 or 5 inches tall.
Yeah.
It's really slow the game down. So we'll see what the field conditions are over at Edgewood on Thursday. And we bring the Geneva Eagles in here this weekend, Saturday night. It's a night game. So please come out, support this team. Under the lights Saturday night here in Alumni Stadium. We take on the Geneva Eagles. That's always a good matchup for us. Those two, we beat Edgewood last year. And then Geneva is always a 50-50. They're a skilled team. I think we're a skilled team. It's going to be a good matchup here Saturday night. Anything that you're looking for over these next 2 games in terms of, again, what we need to do to sort of get back into that win column?
I'm kind of looking more to play more as a team.
Okay.
So it's like sometimes we get kind of ahead of ourselves and try and take the ball down and score ourselves. But I think that we just need to play as a team.
All right, so one game at a time. The Warriors first on Thursday, and then we'll worry about the Eagles here on Saturday night. So, again, come on out. Saturday night, Alumni Stadium, 7 p.m. The lights will be on, and the guys will be taking on the Geneva Eagles. So come out and support the team if we can.
And we touched on it a little, wrestling right around the corner. So how excited are you to get your junior year of wrestling started?
I'm very excited. I want to fast forward to it.
What's the one thing that you're looking to maybe improve on from last year?
Conditioning. I think
Okay.
last year, first period, I was good. And then after that, it kind of just got a little worse.
We talked about this a lot last year. How long does it take you to get into wrestling shape? Obviously, soccer, you're running a lot, but it's different kind of muscles and mechanics and things like that. So how long does it take from getting off the soccer field once you get onto the mat to feel comfortable wrestling?
Well, they're 2 completely different conditioning wises. So, we'll start, open mats, a couple months before the season starts, and they'll still be gassed a little bit during matches. So it takes quite a bit.
Do you have a favorite tournament that we go to or that we participate in during wrestling that's I can't wait for this tournament?
I have a top two, either
Okay.
state duels
Yeah.
or Mommy Bay, just because that's a hard tournament.
Yeah, a very hard tournament. Tons and tons of teams from multi-states come into Maumee Bay, and then the state duel tournament is such a different feel. It's a duel. It's a head-to-head against another school, but you're in a tournament setting. If you win, you advance, and then you can advance to state, which we've done the last couple of years. So I know we lost a great group of seniors last year, but we're just replenishing, sort of reloading, and ready to go. It'll be a fun year for our state team duels as well. All right, Coop, just before you go, a couple of questions here just to get to know you, and then we'll let you be on your way, and you can go get your DQ, get it before wrestling so Coach Trentinelli doesn't yell at me. What is your favorite food?
Favorite food? Probably chicken lasagna.
Okay, different. I don't think
Yeah,
you've
I
had
don't
that
think we
answer
have.
before. That's good. Homemade, mom makes that?
Yeah.
Okay, of course. Favorite subject in school?
Definitely math.
Definitely math. All right. Favorite movie or series, show, TV, streaming, whatever. Anything is good.
I always liked the original Happy Gilmore.
Okay. And Happy Gilmore 2 is out. Is it out yet?
It's out.
Okay. I don't have time for a movie at this point in the season, so I haven't seen anything, but I thought it was out. Do you have any hobbies? So you're wrestling, you're soccer, you're involved, you're a pretty active kid already. Anything away from the athletic side of things?
We wakeboard during the summer.
Okay.
Ride dirt bikes. We make maple syrup too. So
Okay.
That's pretty fun.
All right. Is that a toward the end of wrestling event? Is that usually like February, March when that's going on, or is it a year-round thing?
It's like a fall type of thing.
A fall. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Winters added this in. Favorite app or game on your phone, if you have one.
I don't really play games on my phone.
Okay. Good answer.
There's
I
been
like
a lot of
that.
that. Nobody. I need new games and nobody
Yeah,
plays.
Mr. Winters is bored. He's looking
Yeah.
for stuff on his phone to do, and we got a couple of suggestions
Yeah, right.
over the weeks. You got a couple. Favorite memory from Perry. We changed this one too. It used to be, what's your favorite athletic memory from Perry? But we're going to open it up. You've been here your entire time, and so anything kindergarten through now. What are a couple of your memories that you're going to take with you when you graduate in a few years?
State duels freshman year.
Okay. Where was that one at? Because let's see. So we qualified here. That wasn't at Bishop Watterson. That was last year. Oh, that was down in like Napoleon.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Napoleon. Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, again, hopefully we can get you back down there again this coming season. That's always a fun event and great for our program to be part of. Visit any place in the world, Cooper. Money's not an object. Where do you think you're going?
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yes.
Excellent answer. All right, Cooper Schlau, our male athlete of the week. Coop, thanks for being here. Best of luck the rest of the soccer season. At Edgewood on Thursday, at home against Geneva on Saturday, and before you know it, you'll be on the mat. We wish you the best, and we'll be following you along.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, Cooper Schlau, we can exit. We have, is Peyton here?
She's on her way.
She's on her way.
She's of course lost, which was not a surprise.
Okay. Thanks, Cooper. Congratulations on a great year so far. We'll update everybody on boys soccer as we continue down that road. Well, we can wait for Peyton, or we can talk a few other sports before we've got our coach of the week here as well. What do you want to do?
Sure, I'll throw football at you. How about
Okay,
that?
fair
It was
enough.
a tough week for the Pirates last week. It was a close game with Chardon all the way down to the end. Unfortunately, in the final minutes, gave up the game-winning rushing touchdown.
Yeah, it's a game. You always hate to have those feelings, and thankfully we don't have them a lot around here, where where you feel like maybe we will let one slip away. But two great teams, two really strong teams, two of the best teams in the area, going at it last Friday night, and we did enough to win. We just didn't close it out. We had them 4th and 7 or so on their own 30-yard line, and give them credit, give Chardon credit. They ran that clock down. I'm wondering what they were doing. I think a lot of people, even on their sideline, wondered. There's not much time left. What's going on? And they ended up busting off a 70-yard run to win the game. So I know our kids and our coaches were disappointed that happened. But again, sort of trying to look at it retrospectively. It's going to make us better for the postseason run that we hope to make. And I think Coach Gueswich said it well to the team after the game. That type of football game, win or lose, makes us better. It makes us better than last year. We played, I think, Cleveland Central Catholic and won sort of going away. And so that even though it's a loss, again, I think you can always learn a lot more from losing than winning. You just don't want to have to go through it. But that's pretty much a fact. And I know they're back at it, working hard and getting ready for Geneva here on Friday night as we travel over to Spire for a 7 p.m. kick with the Eagles.
And Geneva coming off their first loss at 1 point against Hawken, 49-48.
Yep.
But this is a team that Perry has had success with since, I don't know, 99. I mean, it seems like every year they collide. It's supposed to be the matchup of the week or of the season, and Perry comes out usually with a big win.
Yeah, it was. Believe me, we've had enough discussions behind the scenes. The opening part of our schedule is much more challenging than the second half of our schedule. And Geneva's, this is game 5, so it's technically the first half. We know they're very well coached. They're a very good team. We've had success against them for whatever reason over the years. We have their number, whatever you want to say. But every game is a new game. Every year is a new year. And so I know our kids are not, and our coaches are certainly not overlooking them just because of past successes. We're going to attack this team with sort of renewed energy after the loss last week. I would look for us to come out very strong and try to be physical defensively and use our athleticism here on Friday night to give us an advantage, and we'll go see what happens. But it'll be a good litmus test as well, because Hawken right now is undefeated. They're 4-0. This will be really our first CVC contest. So Chardon was an independent game, and so they've lost to Hawken. So if we can go in and beat them, and whether it's by 1 point or by 20 points or 30 points, it'll give us a good idea of what we've got ahead of us in the CVC. So I'm looking forward to Friday night.
Yeah, and then they'll be back home next week, homecoming, and we'll talk about that coming up next week. Volleyball side, it seems like each week or each match that I look up after they're done, it's another 3-0 match sweep, and that, again, happened last week against Hawken. Yeah,
same concept as football, right? We want to challenge ourselves in a non-conference setting, so our record is right around 500 for volleyball, but we've played some really, really strong competition, especially outside of the league, and we knew, again, that's going to help us with our postseason run. Last year we got upset at the district semifinal level, to a quote-unquote higher seeded team than us. We probably could have, should have, would have won that match, so we didn't want to repeat that. So coach went out, and we're certainly challenging ourselves out of conference. And right now we're undefeated in the conference. We're on the watch list for top of the crop in volleyball, and I'm sure we're gonna start getting into. You've seen a lot of tennis and golf and a couple of soccer now. Volleyball, is underway, but we hope to be playing well into October. So I know we're going to start to have some volleyball players as our athletes of the week here shortly.
And this week they'll be at Lutheran West on Thursday. 3 road games, including that one before coming home next Thursday against West Geauga.
Next Thursday against West G, and then believe it or not, it's going to be senior night on the 30th against Harvey. 30th of September is a Tuesday, so we'll have a couple away matches and then a couple of home, with homecoming in between. And, looking for continued success from volleyball.
On the soccer side, girls soccer 2-7-1. Again, we talked about it last week. A little bit of the injury bug started to hit. They're coming off a 3-0 loss at Hawken.
Yeah, and that loss, that score is probably a little deceiving. I think we came in and we played really well in both halves. We had a little bit of even probably renewed energy in the second half. We're down 2-0 at half, only gave up 1 goal in the second half to a very, very talented Hawken team. So it's hard when almost half of your team is out, half of your starting lineup is on the sideline, either in a boot or, Emma, she got a nose thing. She broken nose. I mean, she can't play for a while. So when you have those types of injuries, it's really hard when we're not overly deep. We only have about 18 or 19 girls in the program, and so we've got to, have those girls who maybe aren't used to playing 20 to 25 minutes. Now they're playing. They're sort of thrust into those roles. But again, it's going to build us, make us better for the future and for later this year. And we hope to get everybody back ASAP.
And you touched on it, girls golf. They're going to start their CVC tournament coming up tomorrow out at Punderson.
Yep, we're shooting this on a Wednesday. They play tomorrow. Erie Shores, actually,
Oh,
but
that's right.
yeah, they're at Madison, but they're going to play out there tomorrow for their conference championship. The other divisions were yesterday out at Punderson, so I know they're excited about that. And then their sectional tournament is the following Thursday. So back-to-back Thursdays, they're going CVC tournament, and then they will be at Punderson for sectionals. So it's crazy that we're at that point of the year, but that's what's happening. And the boys finished third. They played. I know if you ask the boys, I was out there on Monday. They played at Quail Hollow, and some of them were disappointed with their scores, certainly. But we finished third in the CVC. We beat Hawken. We finished behind Chagrin and Orange, and beat Hawken and beat West Geauga. So that's certainly an improvement. They finished fifth in the preseason CVC tournament. Now to finish third and really beat two really strong teams in West G and Hawken. I know they're hopeful. They're going to have to shoot better if they want to advance out of the sectional tournament next Monday out at Quail. But I know they're excited about the opportunity to do it, and they can do it. And we can get out to districts. Potentially that would be I don't want to say it's the first time in school history, but it'd be one of the very few times in school history that we could as a team get out. We'll just have to see what the other scores are. We'll see what the weather's like. I know they're calling for a little bit of rain potentially next week, so that throws some wrenches into it. But boys played very, very well, and very proud of them for what they did out at Quail Hollow on Monday, coming in third place.
And they'll get back-to-back weeks at Quail Hollow, so good for them to already get familiar with the course and then follow that through. Cross country, they had a bye week or an off week last week,
off week.
but back in action this weekend.
Back in action, and it's good. They're not at their midpoint of their season, but again, their focus is very similar to track. They're going to build and hope to peak in the postseason. So they're going to hope to peak, October 10th or 11th at the CVC tournament, and then continue to get better. So a bye week at this point in the year for them to rest some legs and probably have some harder practices, but then take the weekend off and get back at it. And they're working hard each and every day.
Well, then the last fall sport we haven't talked about is girls tennis.
Yeah.
So that's where where we go now.
Yeah, we'll bring up Coach Morris. And is Peyton still MIA?
I don't know. She said the door was locked. I think she's at the wrong door. So.
Oh, there she is.
Oh.
Okay. She made it. She made it. You can have a seat, Peyton. We'll hit you next here. But
Hi,
Coach
Mr.
Morris.
Hi,
how are
Mr.
you?
Winters. Good to
Coach
see you
Morris,
guys.
thanks for being here.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, well, thanks for being here. And Andrew Morris is our head coach of women's tennis program here at Perry. First year in that role. Craig Austin's the assistant coach. So welcome. How's the season been going so far?
Season's been going well, all things considered.
Yeah.
And I just want to mention first, you mentioned Coach Austin as my assistant coach. I like to refer to him as my co-coach. Okay. Very blessed to have such an experienced coach working with me on the sidelines. So I'm thankful for him. But season's going well. I'm sure you've alluded to in the past, we are in a very tough division of the CVC, the Chagrin division.
Yep.
We have in our actual division itself, we have ranked teams, number 1 in the state of Ohio, all of Division II, number 3rd ranked team preseason, state of Ohio, as well as others that are probably Beechwood's probably top 15. So
And that's the state of Ohio.
that's the state of Ohio.
That's not Northeast Ohio.
That's not Northeast Ohio.
That's the
so
state.
Just to consider the level of
crazy.
competition our girls are playing, I'm impressed with their attitudes and the fight that they give, knowing that they're playing some of the top players, and they haven't seen. In years past, they haven't seen this level on a regular basis. So it's been an adjustment, but I'm proud. I'm proud of how they've competed, and I'm proud of their attitude and the effort that they're giving day in and day out.
And then outside the conference, we're back to 500.
Right,
We're
correct. 6-6.
So yeah, you're taking some lumps in the conference play against, again, teams that are the best in the state of Ohio. But then outside the conference, we're extremely competitive, and we're getting our W's when we need to get them, and the girls are playing well.
Correct. We had a big win yesterday over Lake Catholic. We play Riverside, another Division I program.
Yeah,
We had a
yeah.
nice win over them. Next week we play Mentor. I'm curious to see how we match up against a school of that size. I don't think we've played them in the last year or so.
Yep.
So again, we're playing Erie McDowell, one of the largest schools in the state of Pennsylvania, is
Yeah.
coming to us on Monday. Tough team. But hey, the girls are seeing some of the best competition there is out there, and I only expect them, by seeing this competition, they're going to see what it takes to get to that next level.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it ignites a little fire, that the racket stays in their hand a little bit after the season ends.
That's awesome.
And for you, obviously taking over this year, a lot of girls are in the program this year. It seemed like you're not struggling for numbers. So how encouraging was that to see
Oh.
all the girls come out this year and
Yeah.
participate?
That's great, Gene. 17 in the program. I don't know that we've had that number, and Coach Rockwell, you can tell me if I'm wrong or not. In recent years, I don't ever recall there being 17 on the girls' side.
No, we did not have JV last year. We
Yeah.
didn't have a JV team.
So just to give you an idea of how we have 2 seniors, 4 juniors, 4 sophomores, and 7 freshmen. So youthful team, future's very bright. But good leadership too from the top. Only that we do have 2 seniors. So yeah, excited about our numbers. I guess my whole goal for this year is going to be, if I can get every single one of those players back and maybe get a couple others that come from another sport, or hey, then I've done my job. So excited about where we're at and where we're headed, and I love having that. The JV team has had almost the same amount of matches, maybe 1 or 2 less than the varsity. So those girls are getting a ton of playing and a ton of match experience.
And you mentioned having 2 seniors on your roster. We had Kira a couple weeks ago, Quincy as well. What have those 2 meant to this program, and what have you maybe learned about them that you didn't know this year?
Well, first of all, it's great having seniors on the team that know the girls all respect. They each are both in the starting lineup. And I think they've done a good job. The girls they manage what the girls are wearing each week. They plan where we're going to eat. But more importantly, I think they try to bring a sense of fun to practice, which I think is important. Kira has got a playlist. I think we try to make it light and fun, but the senior girls have done a nice job. I know they're a little probably frustrated from where the divisions lie in terms of where they've played in the past, but they've handled it with grace, and I'm proud of them.
And you mentioned having 9, or I think you said 9 freshmen. So your number 1 singles this year, Laura, what has she brought to that spot? Obviously, trying to replace Audrey Austin is going to be a tough task for anybody, but to plug in a freshman into that spot.
Right. So we lost our number 1 and number 2 singles, both graduated last year. So in tennis, that means your whole lineup moves up, right? Yeah. So Laurel coming in as a freshman, playing the court 1 spot, that's tough. And she's done a great job of handling that. She's mostly playing seniors and juniors, only almost every match, that obviously have a lot more match experience under their belt. But the one thing I'm most proud of her of adjusting to that role is her fight. Give you a great example. Last week, we were at Lakeside. She lost the first set. Close, 6-4, was down 4-1, wasn't feeling well. Team had already won. We had already won our match. Her court didn't matter to determine the outcome, but she didn't give up. She decided she wasn't going to give up. She went ahead, won the second set in a tiebreak, and went on and win the third set in a 10-point tiebreaker. So
Wow.
Great comeback. That just tells. Tried to tell the girls, it's not over till that last point is played. And she showed that fight last week.
And where do you think this team, obviously you guys started some workouts, you were named head coach in the spring, and then you started some workouts in the summer pretty much right off the bat. And again, non-mandatory, but you want to see what your numbers are. Where have the girls come from some of those initial first workouts as you as the head coach to now? Now we're really almost wrapping up the season. The CVC tournament is tomorrow. Sectionals will be next week. How have they developed, and how far have they come?
Fundamentally, I think they've come a long way.
Yeah.
From strokes, from just basics, technique, just general sense of court positioning, playing out points like where they should be standing, shifting, moving together as a team in doubles, building that wall at the net, talking, communicating. From day 1, we've come a long way. Only thing I'd like to do differently now that I've had a little season is I would probably schedule less matches and give us some more practice, because it's so important to keep that stroke practice going. If it's just hitting forehands, backhands, working on the direction of our serve, working on overheads, volleys, that's what I would do differently in terms of how we started. We got a lot of that early on, and I was really encouraged by the numbers of girls that showed up. Remember, we went at 7 a.m.
Right.
So you know what I mean, in the
Right.
summer,
Yeah.
and these girls, and 7:30 a.m., and these girls showed up. And
Right.
for them to show up, they didn't have to show up.
Right.
That really was encouraging, just to give you a sense of the type of team we've got. So that's sort of, I think, but I'm pretty impressed with where they've come from the first time I saw them in June to today. So I think there's been a ton of improvement.
That's great, and that's what you want to see, and that's what you want to see, that dedication. And yeah, they don't have to be there, but they're coming. That tells you a lot right off the bat. And then what can they do in the off season? Obviously, we talk about this as much as possible. Like, we love our kids playing multiple sports. We need our kids to play multiple sports, but we want to grow the tennis program and keep things going. So what can they do in the off season? Obviously, we're going to talk to Peyton here in a few minutes. She's basketballer, so she's going to transition right into basketball. But how can a Peyton or anybody who's doing another sport still, like you said, just keep the racket in your hand? Don't put it down October 1
Right.
and pick it up, June 1. What can they do in that off season to keep rolling a little bit,
Right.
even just from time to time?
Well, as a school district, we're very, very fortunate that we actually have an indoor tennis club in our
Yeah.
community. So most schools aren't privileged or don't have that
Yeah.
privilege. So fortunately, Coach Rob and his team do a great job of offering all sorts of different tennis clinics that they can do, that even are on the weekends. I know not everyone can afford that or have the time to do that because of other things. I just ask that you keep the racket in your, even if it's like hitting, I know your parents aren't going to like me, but even if it's like hitting against your garage door,
Right.
or finding, you know what I mean? Just keep that racket, keep that motion. It's a muscle memory sport.
Yeah.
You've got to play it. It's like golf. You've got to play it to get better and be consistent at it. It's hard not to play for 8 months and to think you're going to pick up
Yeah.
where you left off. So obviously there's those. There's also, Mother Nature doesn't help us in the winter. There's also other clubs that they can do.
Yeah.
There's also the Ashtabula County Ladder that runs starting in May all the way through the end of July. So there are a lot of opportunities for our girls and boys to play tennis, which is great.
That's awesome.
And being a first-year head coach, I'm sure you've received a lot of advice from the spring to where you are now. What's the one piece that might have helped you the most, and what's the one thing that you kind of learned that no one gave you a heads up for?
Well, I don't want to say I got a ton of advice. Most of my advice actually came from my children, believe it or
Oh,
not.
okay.
I have 3 children that play tennis, but the one that I really thought of, and it came from my youngest, who's just turned 12, and she said, Mom, because, sometimes it's hard to encourage her to go to a tennis clinic, and I'm always like, why don't you want to go? You love tennis. And she's like, well, Mom, because you got to make it fun. You got to make practice fun. You got to make it so that they want to come next time. You can't always do the same thing. So I think we're trying to do a variety in our practices, especially in the summertime and when practices first started, changing up kind of the drills, what we're doing. The girls aren't doing the same thing all the time. And then incorporate games. Like we said, we incorporate music. We had a compass tournament in the middle of July, just making it so it's fun too, and not just the same old mundane, okay, I got to hit forehands, I have to hit backhands, I have to work on my volley, I have to work my overhead, just those types of things. So I think that was some really good advice. Things I would probably do differently, I think I mentioned I would probably schedule less matches.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure going forward next year we do practice more. So one thing we did differently this year that I really like, and I think we've had really good turnout, is on Fridays we don't practice, we have yoga. So
awesome.
we use every
Good.
muscle.
Fun.
You use every muscle in your body when playing tennis for the most part, and yoga really helps our core and our stretching in terms of our flexibility, all things that are super duper important. And our girls are super busy between band, cheerleading, volleyball, cross country. I'm proud we're still averaging double digits coming on Friday and working at yoga. So we've done some things differently. That I like. I think we'll continue to do that.
And you mentioned Coach Austin at the beginning of our talk here. And so how did you convince him to do it? Because I've talked to Craig for many years about trying, and I did finally get him to do middle school tennis for us. And he's
Right.
now obviously our varsity assistant on girls basketball. So he's been in our system for a long time coaching. But I'm always asking him to consider some more tennis because he coaches middle school tennis in the fall. I'm sorry, in the spring. I'm like, we could
Right.
use you in the fall. Somehow
Right.
you got them to come. So
Well, a funny story about all that. So there was some rumblings that Coach Rob possibly was going to switch to the girls' head coach position at golf.
Yep.
And so my phone started doing a lot of dings. So I got a lot of community members, friends, parents of girls on the team reaching out to someone, hey, have you heard? Would you ever consider it? To be honest with you, I've always loved the idea that I might coach someday, but I just didn't have it in my 5-year plan. Not that I really have a 5-year plan, but I didn't really see it happening. But what happened is I got a message from Coach Austin.
Ah.
And he said to me, I'll do it with you if you're the head coach. And then I was like, interesting. And our girls played on some basketball together in the off season. We spent a lot of time together on off-season sports because of our girls are similar ages. And he and I started talking, and we just talked about kind of our vision and what we thought the program could go, where it could go, and what we kind of have very similar thoughts there. And he and I looked at each other. We were actually at Walsh University watching an AAU basketball tournament, and he looked over at me and he goes, "Are we in?" And I go, "I guess we're in." And I gave TJ a call, and here we are.
Yep. All right. Well, you worked your magic, and or he whatever he felt it was time. But I'm glad that you guys are heading up our girls tennis program. Very happy with where we're at, and I think the future is bright. I'm heading to a CVC meeting here in about 15 minutes.
Yes.
We hope to solidify some divisional alignment here at some point in the very near future. And no offense to Orange or Beechwood or Hawken or these teams in the top 10 in the state of Ohio, we're not there yet,
Right.
and we need to be aligned as such. So that's the goal. But I know CVC tournament tomorrow.
Yes.
At Beechwood.
Yes.
So that I know the kids are excited because they get out of school.
Right.
And you're probably going to get some food.
And we
some
got a
things,
beautiful
yeah.
day for tennis.
Beautiful day
We'll
coming up.
We'll have a beautiful day for tennis. We'll have unbelievable competition for tennis.
Yep.
And our girls will show up. They'll try their best, have a great attitude, and we'll have fun doing it.
And then sectionals next week at a site to be determined. I know your meeting
Yeah,
is
actually
Sunday,
not
I
next
think.
week, but the following week. The following
okay.
week will be second. Next
All
week
right,
we
yeah.
actually have
Couple
Ari
matches.
McDowell coming to town, Madison,
Menor.
going to Hawken, and Menor. So we have another
Full week.
of tennis after that. And then the following week we're scheduled to play Orange, and then we have sectionals. Tonight's a big meeting. We've already determined the top 16 seeds in the district.
Okay.
So tonight is the meeting for them to determine what section they will go to. And then I'll be able to find out where we're placed. Ideally, probably based on geography, we will be at the Hawken
Okay.
district. But however, I can't confirm that till after tonight's meeting. So
Right. Okay. Well, Coach Morris, Gene, anything else?
No, I think that we covered a lot. I'm
did.
looking forward to tomorrow morning and seeing what the girls can do out of Beechwood.
yeah, definitely. Well, thank
All
you
right.
guys.
Coach Morris,
thanks for
thank
having
you.
me.
Appreciate
it.
it. Yeah.
Great seeing you.
Yeah.
Go Pirates.
All right. Thank you. Coach Morris, girls tennis coach here at Perry High School. Yeah, we're at 500. We're in a really tough division, and I give credit to our coaches and to our kids for sort of persevering through that and taking care of business against the teams outside of our conference for sure. So without further ado, let's call Peyton up, our female athlete of the week, Peyton Winters. She plays doubles for the Pirates. Peyton, first things first, let's get
Thanks.
your free meal deal and Blizzard. Don't forget the Blizzard. That's the best part. Appreciate you being here. Congratulations on being our female athlete of the week.
Thank you.
All right. How is year 2 of tennis? This is your second year of tennis? Did
Yeah.
you not start playing until your freshman year?
I
Is that
didn't
correct?
start playing till my sophomore year.
Until your sophomore year. Okay, yeah, because I still think they're sophomores.
You're right.
But they're juniors. It's crazy to me. So you didn't start playing until your sophomore year. So literally year 2. How is it going? How has your game improved from year 1 to year 2?
I think it's going really good. I think I can see so much improvement from last year because I remember the first time I stepped on a tennis court last year during summer workouts, I could not hit the ball at all. It kept flying over the wall into the football field, and I was getting so frustrated because I just wanted to have fun and be good at the sport. So I definitely see so much improvement from last year, and I'm really happy about that.
All right. So what nudged you towards tennis, or what made you come out sort of randomly, for lack of a better word, your sophomore year in high school, and you're going to play tennis. Where did that come from? Was your dad like a all-star tennis player that we didn't know about, or how did that all happen?
It actually came from Audrey Austin.
Ah, okay. Audrey was out recruiting.
Yeah, she was
Okay.
definitely out recruiting. She was like, we need some numbers. I think we were at a basketball camp or like something for Perry basketball, and she
Okay.
went, you know what, it's not like a crazy sport to pick up. I think
Yeah.
you'd be good at it, and it would be so much fun like to just come out and just try
That
something
is
new.
awesome. I did not know that.
Yeah, and I told her I would think about it, and then she was actually kind of surprised that I showed up and for the summer stuff and actually wanted to play tennis. But yeah, I had no experience before, and I didn't really know anything about tennis.
Well, that's a great lesson or a great story to tell to anybody out there who's questioning, I've never played tennis. I've never played golf. I've never played whatever. To come out and give it a try, and you never know. Sometimes it doesn't always work out, I'm sure, but in your case here now, you're our athlete of the week. You're a very successful doubles player in our varsity program, so it can happen, right? I mean, if you want to come out, never hurts to give it a shot. And our numbers are growing, so hopefully we continue down that path.
And as you left the court last year, coming back for your year number 2, what area did you want to improve on? Was it serving, backhand, forehand, overall play? Where did you need to improve to have success this year?
Coming into the season this year, I think I definitely wanted to get my serving down because I just thought, the previous year I was working on hitting, just getting the ball over the net and into play. So this year I really wanted to focus on getting a good first serve and then being ready to hit after.
Can we
And
stop double faulting?
I'll try.
the second serve is always a tough one because you know there's that pressure. You don't want a double fault, but you also don't want to give them an easy shot to return. All right, your backhand. I know I've played some tennis in my life, and I hate backhands. How do you go about attacking and getting that better? Because the forehand's obviously for most people just a much more natural shot and easier. So how do you? I avoided working on my backhand. How do the coaches make sure you're working on your backhand? How do you attack that stroke in your game?
Yeah, well, obviously the backhand's like really important to have and utilize during a game. And last year, I guess, I would try to avoid it a lot because it wasn't as good as my forehand, and I wasn't very confident on it. But I remember Coach Rob helping me before a match, teaching me how to actually do a proper backhand. And then actually this year, Alan Morris helped me with my backhand after one of the practices. And I thought like that tip that he gave me like really helped me.
That's
What
awesome.
was the tip?
It was just starting lower, starting back further, and like finishing through and not standing up after to finish through with my shot.
And now, as Mr. Rockwell mentioned, you played both doubles, primarily doubles, but you played some singles as
Yeah.
well. So what have you enjoyed about singles? And when you've played doubles, who have you played with and how has that gone?
I really like singles just because all the pressure kind of is on me, and I can really see where I've grown with my game. Like, obviously, I can see my serves are going in, my winners that I hit, my front hand and my backhand. I can obviously see that they've improved when it's only me on the court. And then for doubles, I started last year with Quincy, and Quincy was a great first partner. She really showed me the rules and the ropes to playing tennis, and she was just so much fun to play with. And then this year I played with Ava Denholm, and I think we work really well together. I think we're both pretty good at tennis, and it's so much fun to play with her because we've been friends before for a long time, so it's enjoyable.
And maybe the match of the year, playing that doubles match with Ava against Chagrin Falls. Walk us through that match, and we dropped the first set in that one, but then you guys made a pretty exciting finish. So walk us through that Chagrin Falls match.
Yeah, it was a really long match. The first set, me and Ava started off really slow,
Yeah.
and we got completely swept. I don't think we won a game. Maybe we won one of them. And so sort of at the halfway point, me and Ava were just decided that we've had enough time to warm up and that we needed to start taking it a little more seriously and that we could actually win this match. And then it ended up going into a tiebreaker that we fell a little short, but I thought we did like really good persevering and finishing strong.
Well, especially if you're down in the second set and you've gotten beat in the first set, it's a hard thing to overcome. The odds are against you, so for you guys to do that, I think speaks to, again, sort of that same when Coach Morris talked about Laurel in that first singles match coming all the way back when it really, didn't matter. But singles wins recently against Lakeside Riverside, and then doubles yesterday against Lake Catholic. So maybe prefer to play singles a little bit more, but Playing with Ava, it sounds like you guys make a great pair. Or where are you playing tomorrow in CVC? What are you doing?
I think I'm playing second doubles.
Okay.
So I'm going to be playing with Ava, which I think will be really fun.
Okay.
And you guys, not you guys,
Maybe
but
we'll
you,
see the Sugar Falls team.
Yeah,
again.
right.
Oh, that'd be good.
You
Maybe.
and Quincy ended up winning CVCs last year.
Yeah.
So what do you and Ava have to do to make a little bit of a run tomorrow if each win?
I think we just have to start off strong because normally sometimes it takes us a few games to really get in the flow. And I think we also just need to stay positive and pick each other up and just have fun out there and enjoy what we're doing.
We talked to Kara about this, and even the golfers that have been on so far on Walk the Plank, keeping the right mindset. You hit a bad shot. How do you knock it down and kind of just flush that out and come back with a next strong shot?
Yeah, I think it's definitely way easier in doubles because you have someone else to pick you up. Like obviously in singles, it's all solitary and you have to really dig deep to come back after a bad shot. But with doubles, it's so much easier to be like, oh, Ava, you got the next one, or I'm not going to double fault. And you just want to do good for your partner because it's definitely a team thing.
And we've talked about this sort of already, but different CVC opponents this year. Like Gene said, you guys won it last year. We're in a stacked division this year. How has that been different? It's just been obviously tougher teams, but how have you guys sort of made it through? What's your mindset going in when you're playing a better opponent? And how do you guys make it through that, and what's your mindset like?
I think it's just realizing that no one is unbeatable.
Yeah.
And I think we have a really strong team here at Perry, and that we can definitely be in competition with everyone, and we don't normally get swept a lot. So it's really setting like little goals to win one game or win 1 point against these girls that seem way better.
Right.
So
That's
it's keeping
awesome.
positive
I love
and
it.
making goals.
That's what it's all about.
And I know that mindset that you guys had going into that Sugar Falls match was not where it probably should have been, but after going and having the tiebreaker going into the third set, does that now give you guys that confidence? Like, hey, you know what? We thought we were going to get smoked. We came back, and now this can kind of help boost you because you could think back to something that you guys did positive and make a comeback.
Yeah, I think me and Ava are a really strong team together, and we have definitely found out through this season that we can win any match that we play, and we just have to have the right mentality and the right drive to do it.
And then obviously Coach Morris goes Austin this year, Coach Rob. What has been the difference? Obviously you had 1 year with Coach Rob. This year, what's been the most, maybe different styles? What has been the biggest thing that stuck out for you?
I think the biggest thing is definitely like the talking during the games. I feel like since we had one coach before, Coach Rob, you wouldn't see him as much during the matches, I guess. And I think Coach Morris and Coach Austin really make a point to come out, especially if they see that you're struggling with something or they see some like tips that they can give you. I think they definitely come out and tell you like right away.
Yep, awesome. And it's good because, again, whether we're playing, Lake Catholic yesterday or you're playing Orange, the number 1 ranked team in the state, having those pointers from your coach is extremely important. So glad to hear that. That's awesome. And best of luck tomorrow at CVC Tennis. Some more matches next week, and then on to the sectional tournament. And then before you know it, basketball.
Yeah.
All right. So Peyton's, as we mentioned earlier, she's a basketballer. So you'll have Coach Austin. Will you be sick of Coach Austin by the time March rolls around? Or?
No, I really
Okay.
like Coach Austin
Okay,
as
good.
a coach.
I figured that was a trick question. I didn't figure you would be.
Have you heard some of the same comments from basketball over to tennis? Some of his staples throughout practice. Some of the same verbiage.
Yeah, I think he really is an advocate for pushing yourself and like always hustling. We always hear that in practice a lot. And, he'll say some stuff and it'll just take me right back to basketball. And I'm like, nothing's changed.
Well, that's good. Hey, it is right around the corner. They start practicing in the month of October. We had a Sweet 16 run, a little bit of an unexpected. We upset West Branch in that district game. That was one of my favorite events of last year from the entire year. That was an awesome experience for us. So we make it to the Sweet 16. We graduate some seniors, but how do we replace them? And again, same thing that we asked Cooper. We're not really rebuilding. We're reloading, and we're ready to make another run. What are some of the goals of this year's team from a basketball standpoint?
I think it's just like younger players stepping up. They're not freshmen anymore. They can have more say and really impact our team a lot. And I think we just need the confidence. Like, obviously, you said we lost a bunch of seniors, but I still think we have a great fundamental group that is still with us, and I think we can go far. It's just the confidence and working together.
Awesome. That's great. Love it. All right, Pate, before we get you out of here, some get-to-know-you questions,
Okay.
all right? These all good, no wrong answers here, no trick questions. Favorite food?
Sushi.
Sushi. Are any particular place you're getting your sushi?
I really like Bluefin in Mentor. It's really
Bluefin
good.
and Mentor. All right, so there you go. Maybe we can get them as one of our
Yeah.
sponsors for food. Favorite subject in school?
Definitely English.
English. All right. We don't get a lot of English.
Nope.
No disrespect at all. That was one of my favorite because it definitely was not science or math. Favorite movie or streaming series, television show? I don't even know what to call them anymore. But what are you watching?
I really like Supernatural. It's my favorite TV show.
Okay. Hobby away from your tennis, from your basketball. Anything? Do you have time for anything? And what are your hobbies?
I like doing like art, and I also like reading.
Okay. Favorite, shout out book club. Favorite app or game on your phone?
Probably Pinterest.
Pinterest.
Yeah.
Do you have Pinterest?
I do not.
Are you not going?
No,
You're not going to
no.
get Pinterest?
No. Between that, TikTok,
Maybe
those
you
are
got to
the,
try it.
Yeah, right.
Give it a shot. Favorite memory from Perry, and we used to say this. Just what's your favorite athletic memory? We've opened it up because I think our school district does a fantastic job of providing memories across the board in all areas for our kids. So kindergarten through your junior year, what are, even if it's a couple of things, what are you going to take away? What's some of your favorite memories here from being a Perry Pirate?
Honestly, it's just like the relationships that I made. So definitely basketball season, I loved like practicing and like doing film. But I think from last year, our West Branch game was my favorite memory. Like
That's
just
awesome.
winning that is
Yeah,
great.
It was incredible. Well, let's do it again this
Yeah.
year. We'd love to make another run back, another deep run, another unexpected run. Those are some of the funnest times to do it when people don't expect you to do it,
Yep.
right? So visit any place in the world. Where is Peyton going?
Probably Spain because I want to see a soccer game there.
Okay. That sounds familiar. I think Katie has a similar goal. She'd like to see them play over there. So, all right, Peyton Winters, Female Athlete of the Week, girls tennis.
Thank you.
Very much. Congratulations on. Oh yeah, we're gonna shake hands. There we go. Good work. That's tennis. You have to shake hands
right.
after the match,
Yep.
Mr. Winters. We wish you the best of luck here tomorrow at the CVC tournament and into the postseason run into the sectionals, and I'll see you in basketball season
Thank
as
you,
my
yep.
guest. So, all right, Peyton Winters, thanks for being here, Peyton.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, that's-
Puts a wrap on the high school stuff, right? I think
Yeah.
we hit all of our sports. We'll bring up our middle school AD extraordinaire, and unfortunately, Mindy, we're on a time crunch.
I know,
I'm
I
on
can
a
hurry.
time crunch
I can hurry.
because I have to go to a CVC meeting. I have
Yes.
to be in Beechwood at noon. It's 11:18.
Yeah,
so the
I can
clock
wrap
is
this
ticking.
up fast.
And I can't be late because we've got some alignments to discuss and we've got some things to solve today. So anyway, let's talk middle school sports. What's
Yeah,
happening in
so,
middle school
well,
sports
what
for
I'll
the
do
Pirates?
today, real quick, is I'll just go over our athletes of the week and
Okay.
some of the student athletes and teams we've been celebrating. So this year, our very first athlete of the week was Addie Brooks. One of our cheerleaders also plays volleyball, does a really good job balancing the two fall sports, works very well with the coaches, which is huge for a seventh grader coming in, not just adding the athletic piece, but two athletic teams in the same season, and she's doing a very good job communicating, has a positive attitude, and works hard every day. And then our week 2 was Ellie Kieringer. She's a really good scorer for the soccer team for the middle school girls, does a really good job. She's very respectful, kind. She plays wherever she's asked to play, even if she isn't familiar with the position. And then another soccer player we had was Charlotte Lombardo. Charlotte needed a little encouragement coming out this year. She was goalie all last year,
Okay.
but this year we have Vivian Tharp who's helping with goalie, and so Vivian wanted to help. So these two are sharing that spot,
That's
giving
awesome.
both of them the opportunity to run the field and play some other spots. So Charlotte's displayed great sportsmanship this year, willing to help back up and switch positions and also encourage the new goalie. And then we've also had a couple of team shout outs. one to volleyball for helping volunteer time during rec tryouts for volleyball, and then our girls soccer team for coming watching the football players and cheering, and some of them know nothing about football, so that was a lot of fun, seeing what all they learned from watching a football game. And then we had boys soccer standouts recently, and we had Isaac Moats. Isaac's a really good goalie. His mom said that he probably had like 50 saves in 1 week but he does do an exceptional job back there. He's also very encouraging, keeps the morale up on the team, is guiding the younger players. He steps up to lead warm-up stretches, and his dedication extends beyond his own team as well, willing to help with the girls' soccer matches, whether it's helping keep score or just helping out. His commitment of leadership and teamwork make him a deserving choice according to his coaches. Awesome. And then also, we gave a special shout out last week to Andrew and Brooklyn Kissig for their volunteer at Top Soccer. They volunteer their Saturdays to go out and be buddies, assisting the kids at Top Soccer. They don't know this yet, but this week we're also going to recognize a couple of our coaches, Maddie Shires and Shannon Stewart. Maddie's our middle school soccer volunteer coach. She bounces between the boys and girls and helps out at both. Shannon is our girls coach. Shannon actually is in charge of the Top Soccer program. So they are currently in works with trying to get more of the soccer players to come down there to donate some time, to get them to share the passion they have for the game with some kids who, have some disabilities, who need a little extra encouragement, and to be that role model for those kids. So super excited. And then the football team, I'm not giving them a recognition yet. I'm going to make them work a little harder. Okay. But
we have a doubleheader today, right?
Yeah, we got a doubleheader today. We're playing 8th grade's playing West G at 4:30, and then 7th grade is playing Berkshire at 6 o'clock on Memorial Field. Right. But last week on Monday, both teams, we took a bus. I fed them, and we took them to soccer. Yeah, because we know how to get them to do things. Just food, right?
Yes.
Food gets every athlete wherever you need them.
It helps.
So they came and cheered on the girls and boys soccer teams last Monday. Was a good student section, behaved well. That was a lot of fun. They formed a big tunnel out on the field after the girls' victory. And then Tuesday, we asked them to line the course for our middle school cross-country invitational. So they helped kind of direct traffic and everything, as that's a big event. We had 15 schools last week, so that was huge. That was a great event.
Yeah. All right. The week that was Perry Middle School Athletics. We'll have you back when I have a little bit more time.
Hey, that was probably the fastest I've ever talked.
I know. So I'm sorry to do that.
No,
to
you're
you.
good.
But next week, we'll have some more time. We'll bring you back, because really, as we get to the end of September, we're starting to wind down.
Oh yeah, we're wrapping up.
Volleyball will have their CVC tournament the first weekend in October.
Yes.
Then
Cross country the next week.
Cross country the next weekend. Our kids
Soccer
go
that
to
week.
DC.
Yes.
8th graders go to DC already on like October
They
7th
leave on the
or
7th.
8th, and so we're wrapping up football on the day before on the 6th. So
Yes.
it'll all come to head. So we'll have you back on here next week, and we'll get some more updates, and then boom, we're right into winter.
Yes, we are.
Basketball
Crazy.
and wrestling, and here we go. All right, Mindy, thanks for everything
Thank
you
you.
do for Perry. We appreciate it. That'll wrap it up for this week, week 4 of Walk the Plank. We'll be back next week, Wednesday or Thursday, for week number 5. Until then, go Pirates.